What's going on, everyone? Max Power Baseball here, back with another video. Hope everybody's doing well. So, it's been 2 weeks now since I got back from the 2021 National in Chicago, and I've had a chance to relax, digest, and now reflect on my experience there. And it was a really amazing time and exceeded all expectations. I was in Chicago for 4 nights, Wednesday through Saturday. This is my second time going to the National. I did go to the last one 2 years ago in 2019, which was also in Chicago, at the same location. And I had a much better experience this year, knowing what to expect and being more prepared in general. I also did spend more time and more money at the show, and got bigger card pickups this time. But that's not what made it a better trip. What made it great for me was the experience of it all. Meeting up with other people at the happy hour and after parties. And then there are the trade nights, both official and unofficial, which I can't say I've ever seen anything like that before. But with all the signs of a slowdown or even a crash in the hobby that we saw over the last couple months, I think the hobby's in a really good place for the future. In making my plans and prepping for the National, I took what I learned from when I went in 2019, which I did make a lot of mistakes. But I took advice from other YouTubers that had made videos, so I wasn't going in blind, and I did a lot of things right as well. But this time, I was even more prepared. I made the decision 6 months in advance that I was going to go, as long as it was going to happen, which we weren't really confident in until about 2 months before the event. I booked a hotel right across the street from the convention center. The hotel was refundable, just in case it didn't happen or was postponed like last year. But then when it became clear that the show was a go, I booked my flight, which was an easy direct flight from Austin to O'Hare. I started off the trip with the Cubs game on Wednesday night. This is my second trip to Wrigley, having also gone 2 years ago. But I wanted to check out the old ballpark again. The city was hot that day, and the game was a blowout with the Reds winning 8-2. This game was also what ended up being Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo's last game with the Cubs. They were then traded over the next couple days to the Yankees and Giants respectively, and proceeded to both hit home runs in their first game with their new teams. And then I went to the card show for the next 3 days, Thursday through Saturday, and flew home Sunday morning. I spent 3 full days at the show, which I think was just the right amount of time to make my way through everything at least once. There are around 700 tables of dealers, and I saw them all over my 3 days. My strategy was to just keep moving, looking at the showcases and asking for prices. I set a budget ahead of time, planned out what I wanted to look for, and looked up comps. I brought a notebook and wrote down the booth numbers of the ones I wanted to go back to, knowing that if I moved on, I'd never find them again. And although tempting, I didn't get bogged down looking through value boxes. If there was time, I could do that later. But when I got there on my first day, Thursday morning, after a long, winding line for the general admission, I finally got into the show floor. I gotta say, even being prepared, it was still a bit overwhelming, just with the sheer size of the venue and number of dealers. I was wondering if I would make it through everything, but I stuck to my plan, stayed focused, and started going through the booths. I also set aside some time to go to the large corporate sponsor booths like eBay, Topps, and SGC, who were all doing some pretty cool promotions, which you had to be there at specific times, but other than that, was just looking through the showcases the rest of the day, and had a pretty similar plan the other 2 days. With the increased attendance at the show this year, which they announced was the largest since 1991, and also had a ton of first-time attendees, mobile reception inside the convention center was terrible. So I didn't really have success looking up comps on the show floor. After the show ended at 6 p.m. each day, there was still plenty of things going on the rest of the night. On Thursday, there was a YouTuber happy hour at the Embassy Suites, hosted by Baseball Collector, Those Back Pages, and Blue Jacket 66. I did make it to this one and met up with a ton of other tubers in person. Several I had met 2 years ago, but also several I met for the first time. And even though we really only know each other from our videos, it really feels like we're old friends and doesn't seem weird or awkward. I ended up staying here the rest of the night, having conversations and showing off pickups and talking about our experience so far. So I didn't get a chance to make it to the trade night over at the Hyatt Regency, which was hosted by Card Collector 2, but I heard it was packed and at capacity. Later on in the same hotel, there was also a Blake Jameson trade night as well. On Friday, there was another YouTuber happy hour, this time at the Lowe's Hotel and hosted by Filmington and Pepino Man. I was gifted a few things from some of the other tubers, like these really cool custom cards from John, Wade Boggs fan, in the style of a 1973 Topps. I got this double-sided card from Maiko and Ed Weskergriff, which is like a Topps Project 2020 Shore Griffey, and this Allen and Ginter style mini card from Reindeer Studios. I also met with Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards. We used to live in the same area, but never met. He gave me this picture of Juan Marichal. He said the shot's taken by a Sports Illustrated photographer. I don't know much about collecting photos, but I believe this is a Type 2, since it's from the original negative, but developed much after the picture was taken. And Ken, from Ken's Cardboard, picked up this Will Clark for me from a value box. I did already have this one, but it's really nice of him to think of me. Then, while we were at the happy hour at the Lowe's on Friday, a ton of people, mostly younger folks, started showing up in the lobby and hallways, and it turned into this unofficial trade night. They're just setting up shop on every table and couch, displaying the cards that they bought in their Pelican cases. This went on for hours with lots of trading, buying, and selling. There must have been close to 1,000 people there. So there was hardly enough room to walk around, and I'm sure the hotel staff were overwhelmed and had no idea what was going on. The same thing happened the following night on Saturday, but it was a little more organized, and the hotel staff moved everyone out of the lobby and into the hallways in this back room and set up tables for everyone. I was really surprised that most of the people setting up were younger, like 16 to 25, and most had a lot of really high-end cards worth several $1,000s each. And now for my pickups, I'll flip around the camera. On the first day, I didn't even buy anything until the end of the day. My only pickup was this Willie Mays on-card autograph. Getting one was at the top of my want list for the show. I wasn't necessarily looking for this exact one, or one that was graded, but compared to the handful of other Mays autos I saw, the price really wasn't any more expensive. Plus, it's a PSA 10, which is awesome, and a Pop 1. This card's a 1997 reprint of the 1960 design. The auto is clean and sharp, and it just looks fantastic. On the second day, I also only got one card, which was also at the end of my day. This happens to be a 1960, just like the Mays, but it is an original. It's the Carl Yastrzemski rookie card in a PSA 6. This will go great in my 3000 Hit Club PSA registry I started working on. I really like the centering and the eye appeal on this one. I've looked at a lot of these recently, and the card tends to suffer from some really poor print quality, like black roller marks on the surface. I did pay slightly over comps on this one, but I think for such a clean example, it's worth it. I've been picking up more vintage of late, and this one will go great with the collection. On my third and final day, I went through and looked at the last of the tables I hadn't seen yet. I also went by SGC and got entered into the raffle they were having, giving back and showing appreciation for their supporters. I am high on SGC right now and think there's a lot of potential for them to gain some market share since they're really the only major grading company that has been open for submissions over the last several months. And now's a great time to buy cards in their slabs since they're typically cheaper than PSA or BGS for an equivalent grade. After several drawings that they held each day, my number finally got chosen on Saturday afternoon. I was entered into a box break for 2 boxes of Topps Museum Collection and 1 box of Definitive, and assigned 2 random teams. I did get skunked on the break, but as a consolation, they gave me this breaker mat, a hat, and a nice box for slabs. I took a break for lunch, then made it through the last of the booths I hadn't got to yet. I still had a few hours left, so I went back and took a final look at some of the cards I made notes of and tried to make some deals. Most were still available, and some of the dealers weren't flexible on their prices to match the comps, so rather than overpay, I walked away. But others were willing to work with me, so I got a couple more cards, including this 1935 Gaudy 4-in-1 Giants card in a PSA 3. This features Hall of Famer Bill Terry. The same dealer did also have one of these in a PSA 4, but to me the 3 looked better, with much better eye appeal. This is now the oldest card in my collection, and my first pre-war card. I also got this 1958 Topps All-Star Willie Mays in a PSA 5. I love the colors and the design on this one. And I did get a more modern card, 2014 Topps Chrome Refractor Mike Trout in a PSA 10. I'm working on the run of Trout Topps Chrome Refractors and just need a couple more. I also got this 2021 Topps Clearly Authentic Will Clark. This one is the orange that's numbered out of 5. I'm a big fan of these clear acetate cards, and I'm working on the rainbow for these. I also got this 2021 Definitive Collection Will Clark. This one's an autograph, also numbered out of 5. There wasn't a ton of Will Clark cards that I found at the show, but I'm glad I could take home a few that I needed for my super collection. And at the one booth that I did go through their value boxes, I pulled out these 2011 Topps Update Diamond Anniversary Brandon Crawford rookie card and the Cognac parallel. Crawford's having the best season of his career and just signed a 2-year, $32 million extension. I also got this Brandon Belt rookie card from the same set and a couple Buster Posies, second-year card, rookie cup. And this Hunter Pence Hope Diamond, which is numbered out of 60. And I got this blue 1986 Will Clark refractor, which I did already have, but happy to have this to trade for something else I need. Earlier that day, I did kind of by accident run into Blake Jameson, the artist that's worked on Topps Project 2020 last year and Project 70 this year. I was hoping to see him at his trade night, so I did bring one of his cards that I had from home, hoping to get him to sign it. So when I was making the rounds through the show and going by the Whatnot booth, one of the workers noticed my Giants jersey and asked if I was looking for anything in particular. Right after he showed me this Buster Posey, Blake walked into the booth. I recognized him and asked him if he could sign it. Then I also pulled out my Mark McGuire out of my bag and got him to sign that as well. and we grabbed a pic together. Really nice guy. At the eBay booth, they're giving away $10 coupons along with these DJ ski cards every day if you fill out a survey. These are pretty cool Chicago sports Kanye West themed cards, exclusive to the National, and each is numbered out of 2021. Then, if you get all 4, you fill out a form, and they'll send you a 5th card. So I'm waiting for that one to come in the mail. And then finally, at the last trade night, I picked up this stack of Giants prospects, 5 Bowman Chrome Marco Lucianos, who's tearing it up in high A right now, and 2 Joey Barts, who's back to AAA and also doing well, but he hasn't looked too comfortable yet on the couple occasions he's been called up. So in total, I got 26 cards at this year's show, which is fine. I'm much more happy to have quality over quantity. And then finally, before I wrap this up, I did start an Instagram for my cards, which will be mainly my personal collection, but also some cards that I'm looking to move before I list things on eBay. I'm trying to post new content just about every day, and there's a huge card community on Instagram, so I'd recommend you check it out while you're at it. Please give me a follow at maxpower_cards. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I really enjoyed checking out everyone's national recaps. In the comments, let me know if you're able to make it this year and what your favorite part was. Be sure to smash that like and subscribe button and keep on collecting.